Good morning, everybody. NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers and I'm not. Just Dom, a darling old man. If you want to blame anybody on this video, I want you to blame KN4 X-Ray Papa Mike. Because in our conversations, and it's nice that we as hams talk with each other about learning curves and what we can do and what we should try and new equipment and things like that. And we got to talking. He's getting ready to go out and do a late shift tonight and so forth. But so this video really is for all you new people that don't quite understand what's the difference between late shift and early shift and pile up. So I love using that word. But anyways, let's see if we can help out. And some of the old timers will chime in, I'm sure, and I want them to. That's all part of it. And if you're new and you're sitting here watching the video and it's interesting, tell others about it. And if it's bad, I'm sorry, I'll try to improve my abilities. These are uncut, unedited videos. They're just me, myself, and I, all three of us, we provide it. So let's have fun. You don't quite understand because you're relatively new to POTA, Parks on the Air. You're the hunter. You're sitting at home in your comfy zone, etc., etc. And you hear the activators talk about a late shift. Well, you got first shift and you got late shift. Late shift starts the new day. Early shift or first shift, whatever you wish to call it, is what you woke up to this morning and you're having a good time. Unless you get up like I do at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, then you're still on late shift time. Late shift time starts at 0001 UTC. If you're working an activator at their park in the evening time or the daytime, whichever, and they use the term, we will be back after late shift. Okay? Understand that is a new day for them. When they send their logs in, if they're going from 2355 to 0000 or 0001, we'll say, that's a brand new UTC timed day. They're still at the same park. They're still activating at the same time with the same equipment and everything. The only thing that has changed is time. Now, why should I work somebody I just worked 5 minutes ago and 5 minutes is going to be a new day? Remember, folks, if you're sitting back here and you're new and you don't quite understand, the object of POTA, Parks on the Air, is making contacts. We're not in a contest. The activator receives great self-satisfaction at their QRP power or their 10 watts or their 50 watts or their hamstick on the car or their buddy pole or their delta loop. Their antenna systems that they've set up for where they're at, they're getting signal reports. Not just 5959 go away. Give them a real signal report. I use an idiot meter off of mine and it tells me that they're 5.7. If I use this idiot, they're 5.9 and loud. The difference is if I have to visually look at it to see what the signal strength, that's what it would say. But I know what I hear, and what I hear is what I write, because I don't type it in. But when that activator says they're going to stay for late shift or come back after late shift, that's a new day. That's another pile up. Now, I'll share some techniques activators may or may not use. You as a hunter hopefully will be appreciative enough and respectful enough at the same time. When an activator, and Mike and I quite frequently, and there's several others that will do this, they'll take partial calls. So what they'll say is, please spread out your calls. We'll take a list. Very simple. Don't try to be first all the time. If you work me, you'll learn first is last, and last is first. But each activator is different. For that activator, on the other side, they're going to catch heck. I wanted to say something else, because when the UTC time changes to late shift, everybody and his brother, his sister, his aunt and uncle are all going to be calling all at the same time, all wanting to be first contact. And it'll stay that way. Loud, loud, loud. If you've never been an activator, you have no idea what loud is about. If you've been an activator, you understand some of the issues that we go through as activators. You'll have people that'll put their call in 2, 3, 4 times. Or you'll have an individual say, I'm only taking 4 land. If you have a 4 in your call, that's it. I don't care if you live in California. If you have a 4 in your call, that's all I'm asking for. If I'm asking for 4 land and you have a 5 in your call and you live in 4 land, but I didn't ask for 5 land, I asked for a 4 in your call. Please be respectful, because you as a hunter do not realize the listening skills that they have to learn real fast. Otherwise, frustration sets in, and click to the left and they're done. Find an excuse to go to the bathroom, shut the power down. They're not going to put up with it. And you have to respect the activator. They don't have 1,000 watts, generally speaking, shoving at you. They're running QRP. They're running 10 watts. They're running 20 watts. They're running 50 watts, trying to conserve battery. But what they're hearing is pure loud. Okay? Respect your activator. You've heard me talk about it before. If you work them, spot them. Go to the spotting page, spot them. If you know that they're in 2 parks and you were able to copy both park numbers and you got it wrote down on a little piece of paper like they do when they're out taking partial calls, you got it wrote down. Put that second park or third park or second operator in the comment section. Help them out. Remember, a happy activator is one who's so busy they don't have time to spot themselves. That's a great feeling, and it happens many, many times to a lot of us. But that comes from you, the hunter. Now, let's talk about propagation a little bit. On the East Coast, we have certain bands that are open right away, first thing, and on the West Coast, they haven't got out of bed yet because the propagation is different for the bands. If you're an activator and you're watching this, don't go to 40 meters just because on the West Coast, there ain't nobody up yet. Okay? It might be best for 20 meters. It might be best for 75 meters. Get a resonator, put a magnet on the car and try it. Work the bands the way you feel they are. Look in your area, see where propagation is. Don't go to the all standard 40 meters, everybody goes there. No, it might not be the right time. We'll give you an example. When Mike and I go out, or when Steve and I go out, or Tim and I go out, they follow my lead, which I am very appreciative of, but we'll do 40 meters and we'll go to 17 because propagation is normally good after we've finished, and I'm talking 1,400, 1,500 UTC on 17 meters, and it'll come back late in the evening. But we'll go from 17 meters, then we'll go back to 20, 15, 12, 10. If we have a 6 meter vertical with us, we'll go there. Wherever you're at will dictate what band you will start on. Many will start on 20 because where they're at, the propagation is great at that time. If you're sitting at home and you watch the spotting page and you'll watch, all of a sudden there's nothing on 40 meters. Nothing. Nobody's spotted. Everything's on 20. And you'll see a few on 15. You'll see a few on 17. The area that the activator is in should dictate what bands they're going to go on first. As the day progresses, as the band cycle improves, all this will change. All this will change. But don't go out and say, well, everybody goes to 40 first. Well, that doesn't mean you have to go to 40. If you've been watching the bands in your area, you're not down here in the East Coast. You don't have 45 million ham operators down here, and I'm exaggerating on the number, but if you look at any of the maps that people put on, there's an awful lot of East Coast activity. They get up earlier than the rest because of this, the time of day. The UTC time is different. So keep that in the back of your head. Now, the second thing to think about is when that activator's out there, they're going to go out with what they can afford or have available with them, and it's called the antenna. Mag mount, extension rod, resonator, wire in the tree, .213-inch whip, Wolf River coil, buddy pole. The eagle that James uses, speaks highly of. And he should look at the contacts that he's creating utilizing that antenna. There's many different types. Somebody asked the other day, which is the best antenna? The one you can afford. You work what you have and be grateful for what you got. As time progresses, you will get a little better. Now let's talk about time progressing. You're a brand new POTA Parks on the Air recipient as a hunter or activator. Remember, as a hunter, to always check your profile and see what new achievements you've made that come in a PDF. Download it. Save it on your laptop or computer or your cell phone, your Android or your iPhone, whatever. And be proud of that, because not everybody realizes those achievements are there. Go look at what you've done. While you're on the spotting page, and you hear certain calls all the time, type their call in, search it out, go to their profile, look at the achievements that they've done. They're not bragging. Those are achievements, because, see, we don't have contests here in POTA, Parks on the Air. We have contacts. We share opportunities to test our emergency communications equipment, so forth, using ham sticks on a car. If somebody's on late shift, they're going to be dealing with, they can't see very well, the light is dim. They're going to have to get out of that park before closing time. Oh, bugs, mosquitoes, black flies, yellow wings. As a hunter, you don't see that. As a hunter, you don't see that. As an activator, it's there every day. Respect your activators. We, the hunter, appreciate you, the activator, for spending your time, your money, your gas, your vacation day, your wife's birthday, out in a park. Whether you're primitive camping, where you're running off of solar power or several batteries, or you're staying in a campground where you've got electric and water hookup, we appreciate you activators. Remember, when you're in a park before 0000 UTC, that's 1 day. If you're in the same park after 0001, that's a new day. That requires 2 logs. 2 logs. It's 2 different days. Okay? That's how I do it. But see, I'm nothing. I'm just an old man that enjoys radio, enjoys helping people, sharing and talking a lot, probably. But propagation, none of us control. We can only work with. The UTC time, depending on where we're located on West Coast, East Coast, DX, contacts across the water, when they're setting up, there are some of you folks that have the ability to take and rotate a beam and so forth at 7 o'clock local time, East Coast, and rotate it towards EU and make several contacts with our DX entities that are out there, but many people don't realize they're out there. Get up early in the morning and take a look. Get up in the morning and take a look. As I'm trying to remember, there was one other subject that I wanted to mention when it was regard to activators going out in the park and changing the UTC's time and changing the antennas, that when the activator goes out, please be respectful for them. Please, if you would, spot them. A happy activator, like I said earlier, is one who cannot take time to spot themselves because they are that busy. When we first started in August, in April 21, Mike and I would go out and get 10, 15, 20 contacts and say, man, we had an awesome day. And we did. And it is an awesome day. And as time progresses, as an activator and a hunter, I want you guys and gals to get up and go out and do it because it's fun. It's crazy. It's addictive. You'll learn that 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 contacts, after learning to work the park-to-parks first, after learning to, when you activate on the right band if you can, and watch them and monitor them and think about them first. After changing the types of antennas, there's no one right antenna. There's an antenna for every area. It's what you choose as the activator. It's not what somebody else tells you to use. But you'll see the numbers change if you change how you approach it. When I go out, I'm not worried about putting my park out yet. I'm worried about looking at the spotting page. And this is where the hunters help. When you spot somebody that's out there, that gives me more as an activator to go do park to parks and get my 10 quote unquote out of the way. There are several of us that 50 to 100 contacts is what we expect, because we learn how to manage working the park to parks and to work the bands the way the bands are going and not the way somebody else says, you go here first, you go here first, you go here next. No. Manage the time that you have while you're out there before it gets too cold or gets too hot or too full of bugs. And 10, 12, 15 are all good numbers, but Mike and I now look at, and that's just Mike and I, or when Tim and I go out, or if you ask Steve, KO4TXN, when we go out, we've brought that number up from 10, 15, or 20 or so forth to 100, because the expectation is there. And we have seen the changes that we've made on how to get us there. But every activator is not the same. There's people that want to log on a logging device. They're going to do that. That's fine. They want to call you by your surname. That's awesome. I can tell when people call me Dom or when they call me David. I'm not late for supper, I promise you that. But I'm not, for myself, worried about their first names. I learned them. I learned them on the air. I learned people's call sign before they give it to me by their voice. You activators that, as you get seasoned, know them. If you talk with Bill, and I'm sure Bill will back me up, there's CW fists that Bill knows who the call is after the first letter, because he's learned that. He's done it enough, and people, we stand out on our fists in CW. We stand out in our audio characteristics of our voice. We stand out where we know that if I call in at the end of the run, after the first 10 minutes when the pile-up is there, that I'll be heard, because everybody else is running a boat, and I got me a little John boat. They're running a big boat. So why fight the pile-up if I'm going to be there anyways? Thank you for your time. I hope and pray that while I'm here, I can give somebody an opportunity to learn something different, try something different, make it work different as an activator for yourself and as a hunter to understand. I'll leave you on one last note, hunters. I'm not going to challenge anybody to do this, but think about it. What if your entire day you never used the spotting page, and all you did was work an activator? No spotting page. You just spun the dial. You know 40 is heavy. You know 20 is heavy. Do you know 17 can be heavy? Do you know 15 can be heavy? Do you know 10 can be heavy? You see, my point is, we need to appreciate the people who have created the spotting page and maintain trying to keep it up. But think about it. Your day, one full day, no spotting page. No looking at seeing who's where. No Facebook saying they're there. Well, when we as activators get out there and we get into no cell service and we get into no means of communicating, WJS8, whatever that is, and DMR, FT8, but we don't have any of that. And we have to go try to find somebody to talk to and ask them if they would mind or have more guts. That's like trying to run 2 watts like Kevin does, or 1 watt, and operate with no following a spotting page. Just put the park out where he's at or she's at, and that's it, and take what they get. You've been an awesome group. I'm getting ready to go to my 200th activation, and I'm getting tired. I hope that I've helped somebody. May God bless. Remember that the sunrise you got, if you've seen the day, is a blessing from God above. NC4XL, North Carolina, for extra lovers. No, extreme lovers, and I'm not. I'm just Dom. Darling old man, God bless.